YouTube? It's your girl Dej, and I am back at it again with another video. As you can see by the title, we are going to do episode 4, season 1 of Alice in Borderland. And if you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. I am Dej, simply Dej, you know. And if you are returning, welcome back, gang. As you can see, I'm in a different little spot. I am in the same spot as the last video. So if you haven't watched the last video, maybe you're skipping a little ahead and you need to go back and watch it and like it and comment and subscribe to this channel if you aren't already. But yes, so guys, I've been doing Alice in Borderland reviews each episode because that's what I've been watching and I'm liking it. If you haven't watched it, you need to watch it. It's on Netflix. It's not free, I guess, but hey, all the episodes are there. And I like watching shows where all the episodes are there and I don't have to wait another week for the next episode to come out. So, if you haven't watched it already, get on to it. Get on it. Excuse me. Oh, sorry, guys. It's late. But, I'm doing this for y'all because, yes, like, comment, and subscribe. Remember, it's always lit. What's good, YouTube? Subscribe to Simply Dej. All right? And Season 1, Episode 4. As you all know, I like to start by saying the summary that Netflix gives us. And I always take notes so I remember things because I don't always have time to record directly after I watch it. Because sometimes I'm watching it after a long day of work and I'm actually writing while I'm watching it for y'all. So, you know, bear with me. And as you can see, I'm in the house. I'm always recording on not my self-care days, but I'm recording on my down days, you know, so it's just like, and it's hot, okay? But I'm always recording on my down days, so I don't really have a lot to do today, so I'm gonna record a video for y'all. All right, so let's get into Season 1, Episode 4 summary. This is how it begins. Arisu is overwhelmed with guilt and ready to give up, but Usagi urges him to keep going. Next up is a game of endurance in an underground highway. So initially when I first read that, I'm like, I can understand why he wants to give up and feels guilty because he just lost all his friends and he still is in this game and he still is in his town, city, whatever, and there's no one there. So, you know, it's kind of like, that's understandable for you to feel down. Like, you know, like, not really guilty because, I mean, you all had to play the game. You all chose to play the game. It was everybody's decision. They could have just said, no, I'm not going to play, and then they would have died anyway. So it's kind of like everybody's choice, everybody's decision. So in the beginning of the video, in the beginning of the episode, there was Usagi. Yeah. Usagi, she was in the forest and she trapped a bunny rabbit, and I wrote, if you love animals or bunny rabbits, the first scene is not for you, because that's literally how the episode opens up. But remember, you have to also remember, I wrote, poor little rabbit, I can't wait to see what she uses it for. Maybe she's using it for food, and lo and behold, eventually that was what she was using it for. So I mean, hey. But then the episode shows Arisu is laying in the middle of the road ready to give up. Usagi came and she tried to help him, but then she left. I mean, honestly, she tried to help him. He didn't move. He didn't want to get up. What could she do? So she left. But then she went back home to where she was staying in her, I don't even know if it was like a I don't remember what it was, but it was a spot where she would sleep, and I think it was like a warehouse or something, but she would sleep, she would eat, she would cook, do her stuff, whatever. So she ended up using the rabbit for a meal. I guess I can't be mad at that. I love me some chicken. You know, I don't like to watch the videos that they post. I probably wouldn't, you know, really like eat it if I really watched it, so I'm not, but I like me some chicken. So I guess that's what her rabbit was, her chicken. And then, so I wrote, she comes back for Arisu, and it was pouring rain. And then she had another flashback of her and her dad. So I kind of felt like she was going to help him. You know, like, I just felt like they kept showing, like, the sad little scenes and, like, stuff where it's, like, her, you know, her dad and things that was going on. So I was like, wow, okay. So her name sounds like, I put Yusua, Yusua. But yeah, so then she stated a mountaintop is where she can be herself. So when this is all during the flashback. So there's a flashback of her and her dad. And so her dad tells her he was going to the mountain and then he never returned. And there was mad news articles that would come to her home or, you know, spread around. And they weren't sure if he staged it or if it was a suicide. So eventually he never came back. So that's how she lost her dad. She doesn't know if he's alive, if he's dead, but, you know, he went to the mountain. So she figured, you know, he might have passed. So she ends up bringing Arisu back to her place and gives him a bowl of food. So Arisu ends up asking her, why did you save me? And she responded by saying, your body wants to live. And Arisu felt that he doesn't deserve to live because everyone all died in the last game that he played. As you remember, they were in the garden and it kind of was only one person could walk out alive, and his friends kind of hid from him and chose for him to live. So, I mean, he's blaming himself. I mean, I probably would blame myself too, but at the end of the day, I don't think that he had a choice in the matter. So what do you guys feel like? I want you guys to be not proactive. I want you guys to be active in the video too. So drop it down in the comments. What did you guys feel like? Okay, so if you and all your friends was in like Squid Games or like Alice in Borderland, because it's kind of like Squid Games, people keep telling me, and you got a game where you're playing with 4 friends and only one can survive, and it's kind of like a game of tag, and whoever is like the last person who's is the one who survives. Like, you know, it's kind of like, it's not anyone's fault. I don't know. But what y'all think? So then I was like, is he right? Is he grieving? Is it fair the way it happened? Like, I know it's not fair, like, but. So then I was like, I'm glad that she let him kind of vent and then responded that she understands, because sometimes people be like going overboard when people are going through things and they just want to get something off their chest. Like, sometimes people just want to get stuff off their chest to just get it off their chest. And sometimes all you got to really say is, okay, I hear you, or I understand. You don't really have to like compare yourself or say what you would do if you was in their shoes or things like that. You know, like, I like that she just said, I understand, you know? So then she brought up how in the tag game, when he was screaming to everybody like, oh, if we scream where he is, we'll all know where he is and we'll know not to be in that area. So she basically said he risked his life to do that and he saved everybody in the game. So she basically then said he saved her life during that game, excuse me, and she wants to repay Arisu. That's why I'm like, okay, I like that. That's why she's helping him, because it's kind of like he helped her. So when there's no one else in town, it's kind of good to find people who, you know, oh, he's going to help or she's going to help, or, you know, I kind of like that. So Arisu finally gets up and he's ready to go to the next game because his visa was going to expire anyway. So it's not like he just jumped up and said, oh, I'm going to a game. No, he literally had no choice. Like, they have a visa. He had like 3 days and he has to, you know, get on up. So the next game was Underground Highway. And I was like, this Underground Highway looks scary with the random graffiti bus in the middle. Hint, 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 hint. I did not get the hint. And I promise you, I did not see where it said, hold on, because I wrote it down. This episode was long, y'all. Hold on. Okay, so the bus said goal. Even I wrote about the bus and didn't see that it said goal. But let me keep going for what I mean by that. If you watched the episode, you understand. But if you didn't, let me break it down. So there was a random graffiti bus in the middle of the Underground Highway. So if you travel or if you do road trips and stuff, there's some underground highways, like they have like the little orange bright lights and it's like a tunnel looking thing and you're just driving in it, whatever. For sometimes long, sometimes not so long, but it depends on where you're at. So there was like a graffiti bus in the middle of this thing, like sideways, like we're going this way, the traffic's going this way, and there's a bus. No one's getting in or out. Like, you know, it's just a bus. So it's like, okay. So they get on the bus, and there's 3 people already on the bus waiting for the game to start. Ooh. So there's 5 people. It's 4 of clubs. The game is distance. The objective is to run. They just don't know how far or where to. I personally would have started running and left the original 3 and ran with the person I came with, because Arisu came with the girl, you know, Usagi. He came with Usagi, so I would have just assumed, like, they gonna do the thing. Like, I mean, I guess it's better if you have bigger numbers, like, for a team, but sometimes it's kind of like, what y'all doing? But they decided to, like, you know, have a pep talk with the other people so they all could do it as a team. So they started running, booking it, just running, just going fast. And I'm just like, okay, they running. The distance was at like 5,000 steps maybe, because I'm like, maybe it means steps, maybe it, you know, means like, I don't know, like distance. It just kept going up so fast. I'm like, there's no way they're running like miles like that. There's no way. So I'm like, maybe it's steps. So then they end up at a replenish station, and no one wants to take a drink of the water bottles. I wouldn't either. Shoot. A trap, it could be. So then Usagi gave Arisu her little water bottle that she keeps with her. And he was drinking it, whatever. Then he looks around and, you know, Arisu was kind of like really too friendly. So he then shares the girl's water with the people. I don't even think she liked that, because she did a little looking like, rolls her eyes like, yeah, because that's all y'all water now. So then there was a wolf in the middle of the underground railroad. Deja. There was a wolf in the middle of the underground highway, and they had to run from that wolf. And I'm like, dang, that wolf put them back. The wolf super vicious. And then the wolf ended up eating a man, and that's how they like got away, because he was busy eating the man, and it was so bad. So I would have been so tired, because I was like, I cannot imagine running for 1.5 hours, because their time limit was 2 hours. So they had 2 hours to reach the goal. So Arisu is full of energy. He sees a motorcycle, and he realizes like, oh, this motorcycle uses this type of gas. If I bring it back to the bus all the way at the beginning, the bus will start moving, or whatever the case may be. So he decides to go back, and they're at 8,000 footsteps. So he decides to go back with the gas, well, with the motorcycle, to transfer the motorcycle gas to the bus, so the bus could drive to the goal. So the girl and the last guy reached the goal, and they were just chilling, sitting there, and Arisu just got back to the bus. So Arisu's at the bus with the guy who was crippled, and Usagi and this guy they met on the bus was at the goal, or what they thought to be was the goal, and it was basically the end of the highway, like a dead end. So Usagi and the guy then see water starting to come through where they're sitting at. So it's kind of like they're at like, kind of like, it wasn't like a brick wall, but it was like a wall, and then like they had like bolts in it. So it was like 4 bolts like every so often, and they were like popping out, and water was like coming through. So they knew like if enough pop out, it's just gonna be flooded, like water's just gonna like flood the whole entire highway. So they started like running back the other way. So at this point, I was lost. I was like, the guy gets caught in the water, so he's lost. And Arisu saves the day by Usagi was running, and Arisu obviously had the bus driving. So he ends up like grabbing her right before the water like floods, drowns her away, washes her away. and pulls her into the bus, and then they close the door. Then the bus just gets demolished with water, but okay. I was like, I'm so confused about the time limit and how they're alive unless the key was the motorcycle all along. So at that moment when I wrote that, I still didn't understand that the bus was the goal. So then I said, wow, the bus was the goal from the very start. They were safe at 0 distance and didn't even have to run. Ain't no way. I would have been pissed. That's what I wrote. But relieved because they cleared the game so they don't die. But, you know, it's kind of like they didn't have to run at all. Like, the 0 distance meant that they were already at the goal. The distance meant distance from the goal. So the farther they ran, the farther away they were from the goal. So good thing Arisu did turn around and go back to the bus, because if he never went back to the bus, they all would have died. So honestly, to me, I honestly thought the game was like rigged from the start, because what? So then I said Arisu and Usagi go to look at the water while thinking of a plan to get to the beach, because, you know, they're still trying to wonder and figure out like what's at the beach. Why is everybody talking about the beach? So the episode ends with Arisu biking over the bridge, and of course Usagi was I think she was riding on the bike as well. So to me, the entire episode, like if I had to review the entire episode, like I felt like it was a good episode. I feel like all these episodes have like dragged me into it. If you like adventurous kind of shows, if you like things that like you'll sit there like and then notice your mouth has like been open for that long, like it's kind of like you never know what's coming next, and that's what I kind of like about it. It's like it drags you in, and I like shows like that. So as you know, this is the end of the video. This is the end of the show, and I will be back to give you guys a review on episode 5, because that was episode 4. And then after episode 5, we're going to do 6, 7, 8, and then that would be the end of season 1. And then I'm going to jump into season 2 that came out last year, January. What? And then I'm going to give you a review on season 2 that came out last year, December, which was last month. So I never knew that these seasons came out 2 years apart. So, I mean, I'm glad we're all jumping on the bandwagon at the same time, I guess. But I'm ready to get into season 2 because I keep seeing it on my Facebook, and I have to like scroll really fast because I don't like people ruining stuff for me. So I want to watch it. And I'm only at I have watched episode 5, and I'm going to give you guys the review for that as well. And then I'm going to watch 6, 7, and 8, do the review for that. And then we're all going to be on season 2. And I hope that we're all keeping up. And like, comment, and subscribe, because this is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. All right, I'm out. Bye, guys.